This is my second of three videos about my courses in Ultra. So this one is going to be focused, I'm going to be talking about this one class in particular, but this video is focused more on converting a class from the previous format of Blackboard into Ultra. And then I will add the third and final video focuses specifically on the content of this course, Intro to Computing. I did the first one I did also has some ultra introductory content, and that is centered around CPSE 215, which is software applications. We cover Excel and Access in that class. So if you are watching this and want another example of what an ultra course can look like, that one would be helpful. This one, I'm going to talk about the decisions I made um, converting from the old course to the new format. This is not designed to replace the training that we have on how Ultra works and how to and everything. There's already really good training about that. I'm just focused on the course design decisions that are impacted by the new platform. So this course is pretty complex. There are a lot of, it's a survey course. We cover about 16 to 20 topics in the semester. Some of them are a day long, some of them are a week long, just depends on the topic. So it's a good example to point out the benefits and maybe some challenges of working with Ultra. So, first thing to note is that Ultra is a completely linear approach. So, whereas here in my original template, I've got all of the different sections I can create here, and then learning modules is the biggest section that students go into. And each of these learning modules has, categories beneath it. With Ultra, you have just the one long format, and then within each of these learning modules, you can add content, but the content can't be as deep. So you can only have um, three levels of content. So you have what's on this main feed here, and then you can add a folder, and then you can't add a folder within another folder. So no subfolders. So you just have the three levels of content. The top level here where you can add a folder, and then that folder can have contents but can't contain any other folders. So that forces you to create a flatter course outline and flatter design for your content as well. The other thing is how these things look when they come over. So for this section, for example, I have um, I have graphics, so like I've got a diagram that I give them, and I'm able to just show those things on the page here. I'm going to show you what it looks like to convert or to just copy a module from the old version to the new version. I'm going to just demonstrate that so you can see what it looks like and see why that's not always a great idea. So I'm going to just add it just to the top here. I'm going to say copy content, and I'm going to choose from another course. You can type to search. If you have a lot of courses, you can type in search, which is helpful, but I can see it here in this case. So I want to click the arrow here under learning modules, and it's the systems development lifecycle learning module. So I can check this box. It'll bring everything over. So now I say start copy, give it a minute. Okay. So first it tells me that there's just problems with it, just stuff it couldn't do. It'll give you that list of what could not come over and why. Also, if you do look in the folder and then you look under activities, then you can see the diagram, but then you have to click to see the image, and then you have to go back. And sometimes, um, yeah, so that's just kind of cumbersome. So, if you have a really simple Scholar or simple Blackboard course, it's easy to do the copy. It just doesn't always come over right. Also, whenever you do a copy, every single item is hidden from students, so you have to make that visible one at a time. Um, so for this reason, I do not recommend doing the course copy unless it's very, very simple. So I'm going to show you just the decisions I made in converting the course over to the new version. So I'm going to delete this um, entire learning module that I just added in. Okay. So when you go to create content, so you're just starting with an empty course and you're ready to add something, when you hit create, these are the things that you're able to include. And so I recommend including using the learning module at this top level because it does give you the most flexibility for your structure. And it also lets you pick an image, which I just think gives some good visual, um, some good visual aspects here as they're scrolling through. I created these images using a nail merge from Excel into Microsoft Publisher. So I have a spreadsheet for all of my courses with all of the learning modules from all the courses. I think it's about maybe 40 total. I teach 4 or 5 courses at Christopher Newport. I would, so I have those all there, and then I can just generate these graphics into a folder and then add them in. So that's how I do it. Um, you can here tell it it's visible if your course, you're designing it over the summer. You can just make it visible to begin with if you're using a template like this. Um, if you're active in the semester, then you would keep it hidden till you're finished with it. Pretty simple to add the name, description, just, plain text. Again, there's great training on exactly how to do all of these things, but this part's pretty straightforward. Main thing I want to emphasize is use the learning module um, on this main page. That lets you, work with the folders and the content. All right, so therefore, each of these is a learning module. So I start off with the about module, and I added the learning goals for the course. Um, I'll talk about this format in a minute, this page format in a minute. But the learning goals, the topics that we're going to cover, I have this diagram that we use in this class. Um, I have a shell that I've made to be able to share with other faculty. So all of these are hidden. The Meet the Instructor, the syllabus is hidden so you can adjust it. And then here I have instructor's notes for anyone else who I give this course to. I can explain things there. So these are still kind of in the works, but um, the idea is that when I hand this course over to someone, they're not starting from scratch. So that I've been building that section out as well. So in this learning module about the course, you got this information. So when the student comes, they will just see the learning goals, a topic, and then they'll see their syllabus as well. Next, Connect is our digital textbook. So here I have how to use the digital system, the tech support information. They give us a PDF. So this is just all of their textbook information. If you're using a digital platform, they'll have questions throughout the semester about that. So it's good to give them this up front. Um, these quick links are things that I use. I most of my classes I'll at some point do something with Google Drive if I have either a spreadsheet that we're building together as a class, or if we are if I want to give them files or they're working in groups or something like that. So I create a class Google Drive folder for all of my classes for use during the semester. So here again, I have it hidden in the module in the template course. Um, but I can add this link here, so then they'll just come here. I'll say go to quick links and go to our Google Drive, and they'll just get used to clicking here to get to those links. Other platforms, sometimes we use Trello in one of my classes. Anything like that, you can add in. Attendance also, I have here, and then instructor's notes that explain everything that I just said. I want to mention first, I just kind of said this, that there was a template course. So I asked which at CNU is Will White, ask him to give us a template shell. So for every course I teach, I have a template that I can use to build a course. Um, and then I copy this entire course into the new semester's empty course. The reason I like to have this template is because during the semester, well, it's great for sharing with other faculty, like I mentioned before, even adding other faculty to this so everyone can see it. But the main benefit has been if I have a thought during the semester where I want to change something for the following semester, I used to keep a whole list of next time and stuff to do, but now I can just jump into the template and just create it right away, and then everything's ready to go. So I don't have to try to remember some thought I had in September when it's, you know, January and I've got to create the new course. So that's the main benefit. So all of these are I just have the word template in it, and then I added Ultra once we switched over. So I can always go to my template course and use that to copy. So you can ask for that. They'll be happy to give them to you. All right. Um, these open and close, pretty much how it looks for the students too. They just open and close. Um, so getting started, um, I have a forum for them to kind of get to know each other. Tell them right away what their first couple assignments are, which is, you know, basically getting set up with the textbook and everything else. Um, how to use Scholar, especially since Ultra is new. I have a little video here from the student perspective. Um, how to save often, just, you know, things I say out loud and try to give it to them in writing also. I also started adding this word length, these word length examples. So, just for them to have a visual idea. This is the longest I do in, you know, for any one question in this course. It's not really like a paper writing course. So this just helps them to see when they're doing a, you know, an answer to a, you know, an essay question or comments, whatever, just visually what it looks like. So I started adding this and then some general student success information that is good for all of our students across the board. So this is kind of for them to know where to, you know, where to kind of dive in from the beginning. Okay, so now we're into the content. So I have these kind of numbered, and the way this is, because it was if you look back at the diagram I have, there's like three main parts. So part one is the life cycle, where it's kind of giving an overview of how we approach technology in the industry. Part two, best practices, and then part three, hardware. Part four is software. Um, so then on my little diagrams, I have the um, little part number and the amount there. This one I've got to update this one. These look a little out of order, but like I said, still building this out. But I can show you how that works. So I just would drag this up here, password security and file management. So drag those back into their correct section. All right, and then this one as well. Okay, and then I'll update that graphic. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that, how I did those graphics. So so yeah, so this is how oh, I know why they were there, because I teach them later in the semester. But I'm just gonna leave it like this because it makes more sense visually now. Okay, so here you can see it. So I've got the parts and then each section, but they can still find. So if I'm like, okay, we're doing password security today, they don't have to dig in too far to get to what they want. I liked that format here with the learning modules. Again, they could just, you know, find easily what section we were in. So I tried in this new format to just, you know, do the same concept, but to make it a little bit more streamlined. Um, on that note, as for the course design, I should show you this real quick. Um, where's my diagram? So I had a pretty, oh, I can show it to you here. Mm, where is it? This is too old of a course. I definitely consolidated my course design here. I used to have a pretty oh, I know I can show you what it looks like. All right, down here. No, what's happening? I think I'm in the wrong template. I don't know. Oh, here we go. All right, so my original course diagram, the reason I created this is because it is a survey course. I didn't want my students to feel like things weren't connected or to just be confused on how the topics tied together. So my diagram used to look more like this over here on the right. Um, can't find the newest version of it. It's actually my first version. The second version is a little bit different. So just ignore this bottom part. This is just for this one topic. So it looked more like this, a lot more boxes, more complex. So the process of having to redesign the course for Ultra um, led me to also redesign how my course diagram looked also. So we're still covering the same things. It's just a little more digestible. So I do have again these four main sections: life cycle, best practices, hardware, software, but just fewer things within each one. And it just, I think it's just an easier way for them to see the content. So, uh, changing to Ultra, good chance you got to rework the course a little bit anyway. It's a good chance to, good opportunity to think through things like this. Okay, back on track. So, learning modules. And my first one here is the life cycle module. So I showed you what it looked like before. I had all of the sections here, different activities for them to do, stuff like that. So now I've got a very short introduction to each part. Here I've got more details. So I want to talk about this document format. So remember I was saying that when you just copy everything over, just you have to click on the image, go look at the image, come back. So instead, the way you want to present information like this is with the plus create the document content item type. So here you can add from content, you can add text content, and then you can click again and add upload an image from your computer. That's the only ones I really use are those two. So, and then you can move these sections up and down as well. Rename it. Again, everything comes in hidden by default. So this is how I've created these. These are documents. I'm going to delete that example. All right, so my introduction document, this is a text box. I can click to edit it. Doesn't let you do a whole lot of fancy formatting, which I don't really like, but yeah, I get what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make it more, give them less distractions, but uh, it's you just have not quite as many options as we're used to. So now here I have another little piece of text. Um, the reason I have this broken up is because when you do want to rearrange things, it just makes it easier. So I've done it this way. My syllabus is I did the syllabus the same way. I guess I can go back and show you that later. Um, this is a YouTube video. So if I click here, you can see it's got the introduction, and then you use these insert content buttons to add a video that can show on the page. So this is how the document type works. So then basically inside of a learning module, the top level, you have a combination of folders and documents. Um, this is another, just a couple other, examples of content and um, some links directly to these websites that I do for in-class activities. So just another type that you can use is the link. So document and link. But you can see here, because I'm inside of a folder, I'm in this which is right for you folder, you no longer have the folder type available. So, so yeah, so just to keep that in mind. Okay. Here's another section that I created. Now, this one is the first one that has an online assignment for them. So I have a discussion board. The first one has a Scholar Blackboard assignment for them. So this is a discussion board. I actually really like the discussion boards here. Um, this whole side, you have students in the course and they start answering, this whole side is just very, very user friendly for grading. Um, it's really cool to use. So the format here is pretty similar to discussion boards in in the old Blackboard in terms of being able to hide responses until until they post something, stuff like that. But I do really like the grading process here, which is saying a lot because I struggle with grading. All right. Um, Here is another activity I put together. So this class has students from all different majors. So I have these videos that explain like how technology is used in different majors. And so just another example of some of the content I've got here. So they have to watch a certain number of these videos and then they write about it in the discussion board. So that's this activity, tech in every industry, to help them to figure out why they're taking this course and how it can help them. All right. Here is where I start adding in the assignments from the digital textbook. Again, I won't go into detail on that, but I do just want to show what it looks like um, with the actual assignment names and everything, or the assignments inside of the folder. So I have, again, another intro of whatever content you want to tell them, and then the assignments, and these are assignments about security and maintenance. And then these are assignments about file management, and these are assignments about ethics. So here I've got these so they, as they move through the course, whatever they're doing for that week is grouped together. Um, so I had that file management topic. I think that's why it was down at the bottom. I hadn't built this yet, so still in progress. But anyway, um, just keep these grouped together. And these assignments don't take too long. It's not an overwhelming course or anything, but some of them are 5 minute long, 5 minute assignments, but it just helps them to kind of navigate through the semester. Um, this is a project that they do in the class. I have information about the project. How to do it, all of that, all the examples and everything. Um, let's see, what else can I show you? Some other examples. Um, okay, here's another one where there's just two groups of assignments on devices and then network. So that's, again, trying to keep it streamlined for them. Same thing, groups of assignments. And then some of these are things that we do in class, but they don't have textbook assignments. So this is another example of that. I have a folder teaching them about the concept, a discussion board for them to do. They go create an applet and then come back and discuss it. And then just some information about how they can put it to use now to do better in their other classes. I have an extra credit folder at the bottom, and then just can add things to this as they pop up, like an event that comes up during the semester that fits our content. All right, so um, those are the main things. I'm gonna go back and show you what I did with the syllabus. So again, as you look through here and you see the lines and the dots, you can see how I have every single thing here in a different section. Just again, it's the easiest way to move and rearrange things. Um, I also have this class I teach during the regular semester and during our 3 week May term. So this also helps me to keep the bulk of the content together, and I can have a separate May version, or I can just, place that, keep them both in the template, and then hide whichever one is not being in use, or delete, when I make a copy of the template, delete whichever sections I don't need. So breaking this up has been super helpful. And then the university statements, I keep those all together because they give us those in one email and have us paste it in. So I just keep that in one section. But yeah, breaking it up into making a separate add content every time you're adding a part of your syllabus is going to be easy. The other thing is every now and then there's like a weird little glitch, like you'll tap somewhere and then your edits go away. So that's the other reason you're not risking losing quite as much. Just a little wonky, like with the way the tables kind of. There's a few little things that where I end up having to type something and then start all over again, and I hate doing that. I think we all do. So the smaller, the less you have in any one section, the easier it is to make changes, as you move through instead of it all being in one little chunk together. Um, I usually give students a Google Calendar with our activities. Um, I'm never really been crazy about the Scholar calendars. They do have the assignment due dates on them, but I like to show them like what we're doing each week. So I typically will, under that, the quick links, I would also add, if I have a Google Calendar, I would add that here. The other thing that's really helpful to add is the academic calendar for the school year and also the final exam calendar once it's finalized. That's another good thing to add here because they always have questions about that sort of thing. So that's the kind of stuff I put under quick links. Um, in general, or you could put it here in its own. You could just create a link to a Google Drive, a Google Calendar or whatever. You can just add it here if it's kind of a top level concept. You can do that too. Um, let's see. Announcements are the same. Discussion board you can see all together just like before. Grade book. One of the things I'm so happy that they added in is you still can't have a file attachment question in an assignment, which is really frustrating. But they did at least add in where you can have multiple calculated grades. At first, you could only have one. So, and they made it so that the calculation, this is terrible. And like the smartest math teacher I know told me it was terrible too. So that's when I knew it wasn't just me. So just completely ignore this whole section, I think, because it's the interface is just too much. So you have your overall grade category where you can have what percentage of the grades. This takes a little getting used to. Again, there's other videos that will show you exactly how to do this, but um the ones if it doesn't have a, like these are not included, even though it looks like they're highlighted, they're not included. These are included. You just have the percentage. These are my Maymester percentages, a little different during the school year. But so you can do this. The other thing that I wish that they no longer do, so this is the overall grade calculation column. Um, if I go back to grades, I used to be able to, or sorry, go back here. I used to be able to see in the grade book, I could see the letter grade and the number grade, which was so helpful because then when you're entering your final grades, you can right away see the percentages. If someone's, a tenth of a point off, you can see that right away. You can't do that anymore. So, um, what I ended up doing is this is the overall grade column. You pick if that shows percentage or letter grade. And then I made a second column that showed the other formats. That way, as I'm reading through, I can still see the letter grade and the number grade together. I just find that really helpful. Then when I enter my grades, I sort by overall grade, and that helps me see who the students are on the border. Because once the letter changes from A to A minus, I can look at that. That's the person. That first A minus is the person that could be on the border, and so I look at those couple, and see if if there's a rounding thing that I would do. Um, so yes, I wish you could still see two formats, but you just have to add a second column. But again, at least they did add the new total calculation. So go to add total calculation, And then here you can say, how you want to be either points or weighted. And then if you want it to include like these three categories, you wait, so yeah, it's backwards. You turn off the ones you don't want. So, and then it'll calculate like that. So, um, and I could change this to show me the letter grade. The other thing, do, it doesn't, you can't mix, you have to be either proportional or equal weighting across the board. So I used to, I have some assignments, like the connect assignments, I weight those equally. But then the in class and projects, those are should have a different weighting. So the way I resolve that is in hold on. Close. If you go back to my overall grade column, I ended up creating a separate a separate total calculation for each set of things in my course. So the connect assignments are proportional or sorry, equally weighted no matter what the score is, they're all equal weight. The scholar, so it's like you're either doing a discussion board or building a website, those are proportional to the number of points I gave it. So I made these each separate categories, and then I then weight these proportionally. Um, so a little bit of extra, but at least I was able to get the numbers to work out well. So yeah, again, these are my Maymester numbers, which was a different type of calculation. Um, you've got a few things you can change within each category, but only just dropping the scores and not whether or not it's proportional or not. So maybe that's a new feature that'll get added in. I don't know. Uh, so is this? Oh yeah, okay, just turns it on. So yeah, so you can still do the dropping here. Um, but that's about it. All right, so I hope this is helpful. I'm happy to answer any other questions. And oh, one other thing, if you are using some kind of a third-party textbook like we have with McGraw-Hill, it'll show this little rocket ship. If you look for these rocket ships, that's how you know the assignment is linking correctly. I noticed that some of them, when I was copying things from one course to another, would get lost and they would turn into just a regular link or something. The rocket ship is telling you that it's still tied to that outside LTI or whatever service you have for McGraw-Hill, or I guess Zybooks is the same. I'm building my first Zybooks class in Ultra this week or next week. So um, but yeah, so pay attention to the icons, the rocket ship. If you don't have a rocket ship, it is not properly connected out to your other system. So, um, okay, so hopefully that will help you with the scholar conversion. I will do a third video that explains the actual content of this course for those who teach this course or may teach it in the future. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else I can answer. Definitely check out the school's training because it's more like where to click to do things, and so you definitely need that level of insight as well. All right, happy course designing. Hope you have a great semester. Bye.